Quality conversations lead to quality relationships. Simple. It's simple. If you're having shallow conversations when you go out and you meet these people, that's going to lead to a shallow relationship. It's really like 1 + 1 = 2. Okay. Yo, party people, it's Ashley of SingleWomenChronicles.com, where I encourage single women to be the best version of themselves through healing and avoiding certain pitfalls in dating, love, and relationships. And today's episode is brought to you by my book, How to X Your Ex, a guide towards getting past unhealthy relationships. It's time to end the agonizing cycle of unhealthy relationships. Most people struggle with breakups because they just don't know how to start the healing process. How to X Your Ex is a step-by-step guide on moving past unhealthy relationships. Renew your strength and find happiness again by walking away from relationships that no longer serve you. Start fresh by Xing your ex. Learn how to stop the overwhelming thoughts of your ex. Get rid of the feelings of regret and shame. Eliminate the crushing feelings of rejection. Be at peace with your decision to leave. And be hopeful that there's better out there for you. Start fresh by Xing your ex. And you can get this book on Audible if you don't really like listening to books. On Amazon, on Google Play, as well as Apple Books. Okay, so the past weekend was an eventful weekend or week. Of course, it was St. Patrick's Day, which is one of my holidays. Or I get green because green is one of my favorite colors. And I go outside. And then the night before St. Patrick's Day, a friend invited me out to a lounge to hear some live music. And I had a blast. And so all of these things led me to the topic today: attention versus intention. Which do you prefer? So, I've spoken about this before, and in the past, I went more for the attention. Like, really I went for the quantity and not the quality. The reason in the past I went for the quantity and not the quality was I needed external factors to tell me that I was that girl. I didn't have it internally, so I looked for it externally. But now that I'm older, that I'm more mature, that I'm wiser, that I have more self-esteem, higher self-worth, higher value, I look for the quality over the quantity. So the attention is the quantity. The intention is the quality. Okay? When you are looking for the quantity and the attention, you're looking for all the eyes to be on you. You're looking for every time you go out for you to get approached by several guys, to get several phone numbers. Like, you're just really looking for that, right? But when you get older, you're looking for the quality, the intention, someone who has good intentions for you, someone who has your best interest at heart, someone who is not just trying to have sex with you, who's not just trying to text you because you're bored, not just trying to text you because they can tell their homies that they texting you and they, hanging around you. Like, no, you're looking for the intention. Someone who's coming into your life because they want to create value. They want to bring value, create an authentic connection. Okay. So the reason I even thought about this, it started on Thursday. Okay. So on Thursday, I told y'all I went out to see a live band, and my homie invited me out. So he invites me, and I go by myself, but I know a few promoters. I used to be a bottle waitress, so I still know a few of the people, even though it's been so long. So I'm like out of the loop. So I go in and I'm sitting down and I'm just vibing out. I'm talking to everybody. And all of a sudden, my homie who invited me looks at me and says, "Why you can't find a man? You're so pretty." And so I busted out laughing, y'all. Like, I was laughing so hard, like I almost fell over the couch. Because what kind of question is that? Because one, it puts the ball in my court as if there's something wrong with me, and that's why I'm single. But also, it's just such an odd question. Like, who asked somebody that? We out, it's late, we vibing. Why you want to ask me this question? So I really didn't answer it. I just fell out laughing. He was like, no, I'm like, for real, man. I'm for real. I'm serious. And I'm just like, sorry, it's not me. Like, you're putting the burden on me. It's not me, sir. It's not me. Trust me. I've done the work. It's not me. Like, if I meet somebody of quality, It won't be me ruining it, okay? Because no, I'm at that age where I'm not even at that age. I'm at that level of security within myself, level of confidence, level of self-awareness that it's not me. But I just laughed at that because I'm at a point where I'm so healed that question didn't bother me. That would have bothered a lot of people. A lot of people would have been offended, would have been upset, would have been whatever. Me, maybe last year, I probably would have been mad. I would have been like, what? What kind of question is that? What? But I wasn't. I was just like, what? Why can't I find a man? What? Why can't a man find me? Sorry. But also, like, I don't know. Ask Jesus. I don't know. Ask God. You're going to have to take it up with him. Because I be wondering the same thing sometimes. Like, hey, God. Hey, where he at, though? Where he at, though? Because it ain't me. Because all I've been getting is the quantity and not the quality, baby. Because, again, if I had the quality, this wouldn't be an issue. So he asks, I answer. I'm just like joking with him. And he had been drinking. And, you know, he was a little inebriated. So, you know, the question passed. Like, I didn't really have to go into depth. I was just like, it's not me, you know. And so that was it. So then he mentioned something about my blog, you know, Single Woman Chronicles. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Sometimes I be like, did I curse myself by creating a blog at the age of like 24 called Single Woman Chronicles? Like, sometimes I wonder. And a lot of people, I've heard men tell me that my blog is intimidating. I've also even dated guys who, one guy was like, when I usually don't even give people my Instagram. I don't have a personal Instagram. So I have my blog, which is Single Woman Chronicles, and then I have a hair page because I do hair. Like, those are the only two. I don't have an Ashley, guys. I would love to have one, but I don't have one right now. Eventually, once I stop doing hair, then I'm going to have one. But I'm probably not even going to run that. I'm going to have somebody else run that because I'm tired. Okay? But I used to get afraid to share it because I'm like, I don't want people or guys like assuming, because as soon as a girl says I have a blog and it's about being single, a lot of guys assume like, oh, she be bashing men, oh, she's bitter, oh, she blah, 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 when I don't. Like, I really don't. I'm very like unbiased. I try to be as unbiased as possible. Now, I do have my biases and my people know, and I leave with that. I'll be like, well, I'm biased, but you know, but when it comes to dating and relationships, like, this is just what I've gone through. And I feel like if I share my testimony, I can help someone avoid those pitfalls, or I can help someone heal out of that because I've overcome that. Like, I'm only going to share things that I've overcome. And sometimes I'll share if I'm going through it. But right now, you know, with the overcoming of that. But yeah, many times I will avoid, you know, sharing my social media because I just don't want to be judged. I've had guys say, oh, your Instagram or your social media is intimidating. Oh, you're like a woman savior. They think I'm on some like Kevin Samuels type. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, what are you saying? But if a guy is like, if he's mature enough to take a listen, read my stuff, they don't. So I've only noticed insecure men get offended by my blog and my platform. The secure men that I know, they actually understand like, oh, this is her passion. This is something she enjoys doing. I know her heart posture. Like, I know her heart is to help. She's not trying to bash. She's not trying to give people like sow negative seeds into this world. I'm only trying to sow positivity and hope. That's it, right? So, you know, back in the day, like I said, I would avoid it. But now I'm like, I'm not avoiding anything. I'm going to, if you ask my Instagram, I'm going to give it to you. Here you go. Just for yourself. Like, you can help me cut you off if like you're going to judge me over it. But I said all that to say just like, dang, I forgot. Y'all know my memory bad. Where was I going with this? Where was I going? Oh, that's where I was going. He mentioned, he was like, yeah, I know you be talking about single woman stuff, but like eventually you got to get a man. And I'm just like, okay. And I get it. I don't take offense because I get everyone's like lens is different, right? Like, especially from a man's point of view, our points of views are very different. Okay. They're very, very different. Okay. And I know for him, maybe he's thinking she's so pretty, it doesn't make sense. So maybe it's a compliment, you know, she's so pretty, it doesn't make sense. She should have dudes falling at her feet. She should have the quantity. I do. I do have the quantity. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like when I go outside, like, I know how to go outside and get the attention. I know how to go outside and get the quantity. I know what outfit to put on. I know how to wear my hair. I know what makeup to wear. I know what spots to go to. Where I'm about to walk in here and I'm walking out with plenty of suitors. But it's harder to find the quality. Like, it is really, really tough. And back in the day, I used to be okay with just the quantity, be okay with just the instant gratification of the low-hanging fruit. Can we talk about the low-hanging fruit? The low-hanging fruit are the guys who are just decent, but they don't want what you want. Like, they're cute, they're established, they'll take you out, y'all have a good time, but ultimately, if you want marriage, they're not there right now, or they don't want a relationship with you is silent. Like, they're in your grasp, they're more convenient, but they're not what you're looking for. And they may want something, but y'all just don't have the same values. Something just isn't aligning. And for so long, I settled for that because I'm like, okay, I'll just deal with this until I meet my person. But what kept happening is I would get attached to these individuals and I would start to kind of lose hope that my person was coming and just be like, I'll just settle into this and it'll just be whatever. And then I found myself kind of trying to make myself want them. I don't know if y'all have ever been there. Like, have you ever like tried to, you've been around somebody who's so convenient and they're always there and they're a cool person, but you know that they're not the one for you, but you try to kind of like force them to be the one because you're just tired of waiting. You're tired of like trying to figure it out. You're tired of waiting for the quality to come. That's what I noticed. So the attention and everything is cool, but like, it's not cool when you're getting more quantity and less quality. Like, it gets annoying. So I feel like I was tested by God because I told y'all in my podcast a few episodes ago about how I've been lying to myself and I wasn't dating intentionally. So I'm trying to be more obedient and date intentionally, which means like I can only really pay attention to guys who I know are serious, who have the intent that like they want to date seriously and end up in a marriage, right? Who Jesus. So this weekend I told y'all, first on that Thursday I went out. So after he asked me that question, I laughed it off. Another guy came and sat in the section with us who was one of his friends. So as he was walking towards, I'm looking like, oh, who is that? Because he is cute. He is fun. Okay. He looking good. You know what I mean? So he comes over. Y'all, disclaimer. I have a horrible memory. My memory is bad with names, with just events of time, with faces. It doesn't matter. On the full 100 scope scale, my memory sucks. Okay? It is trash. So, dude comes up. Homie introduces him to me. He's like, hey, yeah, you know Ashley, right? So I'm looking there like Chrissy Teigen with the like fake smile. I'm like, So he could tell like I don't know him. And he's like, oh, it's all right, sweetheart. I'm like, oh man, I done messed it up because he all cute. But anyway, so like 3 minutes pass and he turns around and looks at me. He's like, oh, where's the waiter? And I'll point her out. So he's like, oh, you want something? You want anything? So I'm like, oh, we good. So he buys me a drink and I'm like, all right, cool. So then he like gradually starts to talk to me. And I notice like the more we start talking, he buys me like more drinks. And then he's like, kind of like rubbing on my knee a little bit. I'm like, I had on some tights, so he wasn't like touching no flesh or nothing, but he was like rubbing on my knee a little bit and like flirting and just, just a little. So I'm like, okay, he want the kid a little bit. But at the same time, I know he's in a nightlife, and I know like this is probably something he does. So one thing about me is I can tell intent by the questions people are asking me. Like, you don't have to waste your time with low-hanging fruit if you don't want to. Like sometimes if you're in your season and you're like, I'm not trying to date seriously, I'm just out here casually dating, I'm chilling, whatever, you can date the low hanging fruit. They out here everywhere. But the people of quality, like who actually want something, it is harder to connect with those people. And you don't have to waste your time. The best way is to pay attention to the questions they're asking you. Are they asking you like, I'm trying to get to know you questions? Or are they asking you, I'm trying to get back to your place questions? It's a difference, okay? Asking you where you live, what you doing after this. I'm trying to get in your pants, sweetie boom boom. But asking you, you from here? What high school did you go to? Okay, what college? What did you major in? Okay, what did you want to do with that? What are you doing now? It's a difference. Pay attention to that. Okay? Attention versus intention. Okay? Because the attention, he's still going to give you the attention if he's asking you where you live, how far is that from here, what you doing after this. But you know his intentions with that. You already know, like, oh, he's just trying to take me home. You can cut that off expeditiously because I just let you know, like, okay, let's not go for that this time. But again, if that's the type of time you on, be out there. But my ladies who that's not the type of time you on, let's go for quality. Quality conversations. Quality conversations lead to quality relationships. Simple. It's simple. If you're having shallow conversations when you go out and you meet these people, that's going to lead to a shallow relationship. It's really like 1 + 1 = 2. Okay. So really pay attention to that. It'll show you or eliminate time wasted. If you're not trying to be out here wasting your time, like you can figure out somebody's intention by the conversation. So just save yourself some time. Okay. Another incident happened. So I passed that test. We exchanged numbers, but again, I could tell he wasn't trying to like build nothing with me. So I wasn't going to pursue that. Like I got his number right now, but I wasn't going to text him. I'm still not. Like if you want, you know where I'm at. I mean, I predict he has a family at home. I told him that. I was like, you got a girl at home? Because he asked me who I live with. See, you already know these kinds of questions. He's like, where you live? Who you live with? What you doing after this? He trying to go home with me. Like, it's simple. So I already knew what was up. But yeah, I predict he might hit me up. You know, he might hit me up on some, hey, come out to the club, because he's like a promoter too. You know, but I'm not tripping. I don't take no offense. I know what you want. You know what I mean? So then another scenario happened on Saturday. Now, this is a transparent, vulnerable moment. Okay. So go out, not Saturday, Friday. Friday was St. Patrick's Day. I went to Live at the Battery for my people who live in Atlanta. And I went to the St. Patrick's Day party and I had a freaking blast. We danced. We took pictures. We ate nachos. They were absolutely amazing. I have to shout out to the nachos. Like, we were so quiet eating them nachos. Like, them nachos slap. Like, those were gourmet nachos, honey. If you ever alive at the Battery, get the nachos, okay? Because, whoo, Lord, yes, the chicken on the, just thinking about it. Like, I want to go up there right now. But anyway, so, what was I saying? So we went out and, my vulnerable moment. So as you guys know, if you don't know, I'm 33. So I've been battling with, and I think many women battle with this, but I'm going to just speak on it just so I can help somebody who may feel alone in this. Battle with aging. Feeling like my peak of beauty is behind me. I've been really battling with that lately because when I look back at pictures where I had low self-esteem but then I look at these pictures, I'm like, oh my God, you are so freaking pretty. And look at you now. You just wasted it. So like having to battle those thoughts and be like, no, you're good is hard because I know it's in my brain. Like I'm not like, I don't know what I be thinking, but I don't know. I think we just go through that in aging, especially like when you're at that 30 mark and you're going from 30 until mid 30s. And then when you go into 40s, I'm sure it's going to be another, So I noticed that I'm always, when a younger guy tries to talk to me, which happens a lot, which is random, but when younger guys try to talk to me, it's like I put so much emphasis on the age because it's an insecurity that I have. And after this week, I had to let myself know, like, girl, you gotta stop doing it. Like, stop pinpointing. I don't even think it was me. I think it was more like the Holy Spirit. Like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Stop pinpointing your age, because he ain't worried about it. You don't want worried about it. He ain't worried about it. So that's just something that I'm working on. Ladies, if you're dealing with that too, stop pinpointing your age. If a guy who younger trying to talk to you, if you ask his age and he's in your age range, because I won't date nobody lower than 30, but if he's 30 and up, cool. But don't let it be like, oh, you young, you know, I'm old, just to get it out the way. Like, I feel like I do that sometimes to get it out the way because I feel like I look old, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm going to stop doing that. But anyway, so I was at the Battery. We were on the dance floor. Everybody's having a good time. That's why I like the Battery, because, like, folks ain't on that bougie. I just want to sit still, take pictures, be on Instagram. Nah, folks is actually vibing. Like, they are dancing. If you go to my video I posted on Instagram, the reel I posted of St. Patrick's Day, you'll see me doing the Dougie with the little balloon sword. You'll see me holding up a dude like who was getting twerked on, all of that, right? But in the midst of that, this very attractive young looking guy was like in my area. And I'm old enough to know, I've been out here in the game long enough to know when a guy trying to get at me. So he was like in my space, and I could tell like he trying to get at me, but that little boy looked like he was like 22. And so I'm just like, sir, get somebody younger to do it. Like, what's going on? So eventually, like, he started like dancing in my face, and we started talking, and I asked him how old he was. Lo and behold, he was 32. And I'm looking like, what? Y'all, this man looked 22. He looked so freaking good. But I think like I was kind of distancing myself, and I kind of gave off the like, I don't really want to talk to you vibe, maybe, because he really didn't like pursue it. Because at first he was kind of trying to be in my area, but I think like the vibes I was giving off maybe were like confusing and mixed signally. So maybe he didn't. But even in that moment, it just made me think like, hey girl, you're gonna have to chill. Like, that was a lesson for me. Like, you're gonna have to stop emphasizing your age. If ain't nobody worried about it, why is you worried about it? Why is you insecure about it? You tripping. So that was one thing. But even with that, like, old me who was like attention seeking, I would have been all over him. I would have been all in his face. Like, oh no, you know, what's your name? I should get your number. Like, I would have been leading it instead of just letting it flow. But me now, because I'm so like, I'm seeking quality, and like, let me tell y'all something. I had another revelation. So I'm not even fasting right now. It's fasting and prayer, you know, season for Lent and everything. But I actually fasted 30 days before Lent started. And that was just a me and God thing. Like, we talk. When I need to fast, he'll let me know. And I'm like, all right, cool, let me do it. So during that fast, you know, I was rebuilding my faith. So like lately, my spiritual ear has been very, very sensitive. I've been hearing things. Me and God are here. I've been praising and worshiping more than ever in life. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. So another revelation that I had over the weekend was just like, you have to stop accepting half love. And I was like, say what, Jesus? He's like, you have to stop accepting half love. And I realized that because I was reading, I think, what scripture was I reading? Oh my God. I was reading the scripture, I think it's in 2 Corinthians, but I could be wrong because I think that's the one we read at church today. But whatever, it's the scripture just about God's love and his power. And, you know, he can do exceedingly and abundantly. And like, what stood out was God's love and how his loving kindness is forever in the fullness of his love, the fullness of his strength. And I'm just like, God is like, I love you this much. Do you think that I would send you somebody who will half love you? And I'm like, wow, Jesus, you ain't really have to like smack me like that, fam. Like, that's crazy that you really out here with the gut punch. Like, what? So I noticed that like sometimes in my pursuit for low-hanging fruit, for instant gratification, just to get the attention at that moment because maybe I'm feeling down that day, because your self-worth isn't always going to be high. Like at its peak, I will say that. It's not always going to be at its peak. Like, you can be at a stable level where somebody say something crazy. You like, what? Do you know who I am? But like some days you may not feel your best. Maybe like something happened. Maybe you just broke up with somebody. Maybe something at work went left. Maybe you gained a pound and you went up a dress size. Like, you're not always going to be at your peak. But sometimes in moments like that, instead of just looking inward and reminding myself who I am, I look outward for attention, and I'm like looking for things to like validate me. And sometimes that's when I'll go for like the low hanging fruit, and then I'll end up falling into like a cycle where I'm entertaining people who are giving me half love. And that's what he was speaking to. He's like, we're not doing that anymore. If that dude ain't infatuated with you, like Cameron is infatuated with Lauren from Love is Blind, we're not doing it. I'm too much God for you to accept half love. I'm too much God. That's what he's telling me. Because if that person don't love you at the level that I do, is not giving you the quality at the level that I can provide you the quality, then me and you just gonna have to keep rocking until I send the person that will. And I feel like that's a word for somebody, because the way I just broke that down, I ain't even practiced that. I ain't even think about that until I started talking. So hopefully that just frees somebody. Let me know if it freed you. Share this with somebody, because somebody definitely needs to hear it. But yes, like no more, if again, only if this is the time you on. Like if you on hot girl summer coming up, you like, I ain't really trying to take nothing seriously. Listen, by all means, quantity is you. But if you're tired of the BS, and you're tired of the half love, and you're just tired of shallow conversations and people, you got to focus on the intention. And I already told you how. Pay attention to the conversation. If the conversation is of quality, it can lead to a quality relationship. But if it is shallow, it's most likely going to lead to a shallow relationship. But until next time, y'all, I hope y'all had a good weekend too. Have a great week. Bye.